In fact, let's shift our focus back to India now. There are thousands of Indians who are yet to be brought back from the war zone Ukraine, and we are being joined by one such student who is still stuck at the border. Harshvardhan Singh is with us, who is currently in a shelter in Bucharest in Romania. Thank you, Harshvardhan, for taking the time out and speaking to us. First of all, help us understand where exactly were you staying in Ukraine and how did you manage to reach Bucharest?
Hello, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I was actually staying in Ternopil. That's a city in the west of Ukraine. It's close. It's close to Ivano, where the third bombing happened on the day of 24th of February. So we actually got a bus from the agents who were working there. They arranged buses for us to move from there to the border because our university wasn't actually cooperating with the embassy. Like they weren't able to arrange the buses and everything. So our agents arranged the transport for us and they sent us to the border. And from there, we stayed for almost 4 days. And yeah, just yesterday we cleared the border yesterday evening, and then we were brought to the shelter in Bucharest.
Okay, Harshvardhan, is it possible for you to show us around how exactly is your life like in that shelter house? Because we are getting a lot of reports of people struggling in those shelter house and bunkers, especially at borders. If you can, yes, these are the visuals, live visuals that we are getting in right now from Bucharest shelter, where I'm assuming hundreds of Indians are staying, Harshvardhan. If you can just take us through the details, what are the kind of arrangements that have been made?
Okay, so here it is a private area. This is actually supposed to be a wedding hall, which has been converted into a shelter. And we have medical supplies here, the food, water, everything. They have made us really comfortable here. We have been given mattresses, warm blankets, pillows to be comfortable here. And I think there's about 100 students here, and little by little some of the students have been taken for to the airport. So like if I came yesterday, so I'll have flight day after tomorrow because the frequency of flights is not that much, and there's almost like 3 to 4,000 students in Romania here.
So have you been given any kind of time span or time limit as to when are you going to leave for India?
No, it's actually that as soon as the frequency keeps increasing, the number of students going is increasing. So, like today, there are 6 flights from here to India. So, as the number of students will be more, I think one flight can fill up with 350 to 400 students. So, people who came earlier will leave to the airport and board the flight and go to India.
Right. Also, Harshvardhan, we all know that Indian government has deployed several ministers as point persons in different European countries to oversee the entire evacuation process. For Romania, in fact, Jyotiradit Scindia, the aviation minister, has been appointed as the point person to oversee the entire operation. We got visuals of him meeting different students who are staying in different shelters. Did he manage to visit the shelter that you are living in?
No, I don't think he came to the shelter we are living in. But yeah, a few of my friends who are living in different shelters met him, and I think he actually went near the border too, just to clear out the little things. But a few of my friends met him though.
Yeah, the reason I asked this question, Harshvardhan, is because I want to really understand what are the students or the Indians who are stuck in Ukraine as well as at all those borders are feeling about this effort that has been undertaken by Indian government to appoint ministers to oversee this entire evacuation process. Is it assuring, or do you think it is of no use actually?
It's actually it's really reassuring because as one of the ministers came, we were actually thinking that might help speed up the process because you see, uh, even if you do anything, but when you have pressure from someone above you, like a pressure from the person who's overseeing everything, you speed up the process. So that's what we were hoping it'll do. But I think they have increased the frequency of flights, but as of now, I don't think anything else has happened. So
Okay. Also, Harshvardhan, yesterday a very, very unfortunate piece of news came from Ukraine where one of the students, Naveen, lost his life in the conflict. When did this news reach to you guys and what was
yes,
your first reaction?
the news reached to us about an hour or 2 hours after it happened, and it was really saddening because a few of his friends were here. A few of his friends were here yesterday, and we were trying to console them and talk to them, but I don't think really it was helping. But it was a really sad news that one of the students got hit, and there's still so many students stuck in Kharkiv. I don't know what the government is doing to evacuate them, but they should really be evacuated as soon as possible because yesterday we saw a video of the bombing there in Kharkiv. That was horrifying. But yeah, so it should be done as soon as possible, please.
Right, Harshvardhan, I understand your sentiment and what exactly all other students and all other Indians who are still stuck in these areas are feeling, are experiencing at this point in time. But also, Harshvardhan, another important point which I want to understand from you, till the time you reached Bucharest, when you were in Ukraine, what was the kind of experience in the city that you were staying in? Was it hit by violence? What exactly was happening around you?
Actually, the thing is that the city was panicking really badly. It was so horrifying. Like people were scared, people were afraid to go out at all, because we had warning of the airstrike on 24th evening. We went to the bunkers and we stayed in the bunkers for like till 3 or 4 in the morning until they announced the sirens that the warning has the alert has passed. And then we came back to home, and then as soon as it was all clear, we just took the bus and came to the Romanian border. So, but there were a few friends in my city, but there was no violence or anything because all the Ukrainian people from the age of 18 till 60 are going on the front lines to fight. All the guys, all the men are going to fight for the country.
Right. Also, Harshvardhan, we have been getting reports from different border points that the Indians and Africans are facing some kind of segregation, some kind of indifference when it comes to priority, when it comes to travel,
Yeah.
taking trains, etc. Have you or your friends experienced any such incident?
Yes, ma'am. The thing is that there's a lot of Ukrainian people who are at the border too. So they are actually letting the Ukrainians pass first. There's a very little of Ukrainians left, or there's none there. Then they will pass. They'll let international students pass. They are giving the priority to the Ukrainian people. Of course, but it's their country, and it's a little understandable because all the men are staying back to fight. Just the women and the children are being let pass from the borders.
Right, right. Harshvardhan,
Any
yeah, please
yeah.
continue. Please continue.
Yeah, so if any men from the age of 18 to 60 are trying to pass the borders, they are being stopped and they are being sent back to fight on the front lines or to stay at least till they get a notice that they are being called on the front lines. They are not being allowed to pass the borders, just the women and children.
Right, Harshvardhan, thank you so much for speaking to Mirror Now. In fact, you were getting a first-hand account as to what is happening in these shelter houses, these makeshift shelter places which have been set up at different border points. It's a matter of relief that people like Harshvardhan and several other Indians are right now safe. They are inside a shelter house. They are getting all the basic facilities, but still there is no clarity as to when they are going to get that final evacuation and they are going to reach India.